finally we got the text, we got the MOU, the document. And I'm sure that you've seen the document, the points in that document. How did you find it?
Oh, I mean, it's memorandum. Make no mistake. United States is non-agreement capable, so it doesn't matter what you sign with the United States, because as we know, especially Mr. Trump, he's the master of his word. He can give it, he can take it back. So unless it is obviously approved by legislature and runs through the U.S. Congress, which is not going to happen, obviously, it is all for the show, for Trump to spin essentially the beating that the United States took from Iran. And yeah, there is a Green Day's album, the band called Green Day. It was their album American Idiot, which sold millions upon millions copies in late 1990s, I believe. I'm not grunge guy and punk guy. So that's what they have, American Idiot. He started the war, got lost in it, got defeated, got humiliated, and now he tries to come back to what it was before, but on a completely different level, because Iran, and I agree with Iranian leadership, is a completely different status now in its original superpower, and it will be ordering around all those, Arab states, Emirates and things of this nature. So yeah, it's a colossal strategic loss, but what many people will be avoiding talking about the operational and tactical one, because the United States military got actually humiliated. And it's not just because, political regime in Washington, D.C. did so and so. So in this case, it's PR action in many respects, but it was a off-ramp for Trump. And we know the economic background of this. It was the lowering of the strategic reserves of the oil in the United States below 1983 levels. And don't make no mistake, at 1983, United States was the nation of 250 million. Today is almost 350 million. So when we prorate, so to speak, those things to strategic oil reserves, how they would affect, granted, United States have been also deindustrialized, but it started to drive more. And you will probably see the dipping of those strategic reserves even lower. So he is basically pushed he cornered himself pretty much. I mean, he is on service to Israel, and now we can see everything about Israel. Everybody knows what Israel is now, and it's a catastrophe for his administration. And the only thing they have, which they always do, the only war combined West and United States can do, is PR war primarily. And that's what they do, spinning things. Now, what is the content of the MOU? I browsed it, and again, make no mistake, I made my position clear from the get-go. I do not take anything which is nowadays originates in the White House seriously at all. I mean, it's just like, yeah, whatever. But the question is very simple. And Iran answered it. It defeated the United States, and the United States will be doing now essentially what Iran ordered it to do. And there you go.
Andrei, I think the first point is bringing huge repercussions in the United States and in Israel when it comes to how Iran and the United States, somehow reached some sort of agreement that this is the end of the war on all fronts. Basically, they're talking about, it's mentioned in that first point, they have to, respect the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Lebanon. No war in Lebanon. It means that Israel has to withdraw from Lebanon.
Yeah.
This is the whole point. That's why Israelis are so angry right now, attacking right and left the Trump administration. And just moments ago, we had J.D. Vance responding, somehow slamming the Netanyahu administration. Here is what he said, Andrei.
Has not gone down this path. But to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars. The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. Thank you all.
I think this is a serious sort of move when it comes to Israel, because Israel is badly attacking the Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, because they feel that, and he said it just right 2/3 of the weapons being used during the war.
Oh, it's more than that. It's more than that. You have to understand. Again, listen. Israel militarily without the United States is nothing. They stole essentially. It's the whole other story how they got their nuclear weapons, but it is also the fact that all those Israeli names like Hats, David Sling and things of these are not Israeli weapons, air defense. Granted, they suck. They are not good, but still. The United States provides Israel with most of it essentially critical military infrastructure. They are Boeing, they are Raytheon, they're what have you. So the only thing Israel does is they have some companies which delve into radio electronics and they produce something like Merkava. Air Force, it's all American. Everything, systems of the command and control, it's American. I mean, the United States provides again, granted, as already stated, which is really bad for their defense, it provides the ammunition. It provides essentially financial support to Israeli Defense Force, which is nothing more than combination of collection of the punitive battalions or formations. They are good at atrocities and genocide. They're not good militarily. And that's the whole thing. And now we have the situation that Vance, he has to spin everything what has happened and what is happening, especially after the United States debased itself and essentially supported the genocidal regime of Netanyahu, which are war criminals, nothing more than that. So guess what? We know what happens in terms of the public opinion in the United States, which is the tide is turning. And so they have to go along with this because in the end, it's their power. It's their power base. And the only thing they will have if it continues, and GOP, which most likely will be, they will get thrashed in the midterms if they continue with this. Well, they're all corrupted. They are all on service of Israel. But still, American public had enough with all this, So, and especially after seeing what is happening, is in Gaza and now in Lebanon. And so, yeah, the Lebanon part is very clear. And so, what can I say? Iran got what it needed to, get out of the United States. The rest of it, Israel alone, the only thing they have is some option. They cannot defeat anybody militarily other than going into those underdeveloped, backward Arab, settlements and kill people. That's the only thing they have. Hezbollah controls basically the flow of the operation, if you wish, and they can inflict much more pain if Israel continues to do what it does. As I already stated, it's either atrocity on the ground or bombing people who do not have air defense and cannot shoot back. Once it faces, like the United States faced its day of reckoning, any enemy which is very well trained and can shoot back, boy, you can see yourself what happened. And so, yeah, Trump wanted it, he got it, and now he has to crawl out of this whole situation and hope for the better that his GOP, that is the pro-Israeli party primarily, will not be, absolutely removed from the power. The problem is with the United States, of course, given that it doesn't matter who you elect oligarchy. It's just a matter of the different flavors, so to speak. But Israelis, who cares if they're happy or not? It's this nation, this country, demonstrated to everybody what it is, and the world took a note. Nobody likes them. Simple as that. Period. It's to put it mildly.
Andrei, out of those points that were mentioned in MOU, which, in my opinion, when it comes to the sanctions, somehow the frozen assets, you cannot trust the United States.
No.
So that's not going to happen. The only important thing in that document, in my opinion, is the case of Hezbollah and Lebanon, Lebanon, and Israel, which is the reality of the battlefield. Iran said, if Israel attacks, we're going to respond. This is the reality, and that's why they mentioned it in the first point. And the second point is the Strait of Hormuz and what's going on. And the United States is not going to be able to change the reality of the Strait of Hormuz.
No, it can't.
Yeah. The third point that is important is Iranian nuclear program. Iran has said they're not willing, they don't want to produce nuclear weapons. They're willing to negotiate whatever it takes. They're gonna negotiate, and they're not gonna have any sort of problem negotiating on that. But it all dependent. It's all dependent on U.S. sanctions. Here comes the problem, in my opinion, Because if it's related to the United States sanctions, IAEA secondary, primary sanctions, UN Security Council sanctions, all of them together. So as long as you advance on the field of the negotiations on the part of the Iranian nuclear program, you're going to get some sort of sanction relief from the United States.
Yeah.
These are two particular, these two are related to each other. But when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, nothing is related to these two, the other points. And they said 60 days without toll, and after 60 days, they're gonna have the new mechanism of the Strait of Hormuz. And what is, when you look at the document, how much of the document is delusional or somehow wishful thinking, and how much of it is the reality of what's going on?
As you correctly stated, the only real thing is obviously Lebanon. The rest of it is, as I already stated, anything which you sign with the United States, and especially, again, not binding document. This is not binding document because, well, there's so much to be said about how you push it through the legislature. You cannot push anything through U.S. Congress. It is so corrupt. It is so at the service of Israel or whatever the particular interest that it doesn't matter really. So, and what can I say? I mean, yeah, well, let them play the game. The problem is, as I state it, I mean, all my career, the only thing which matters is the situation on the ground, period. That's the only thing which matters. The rest of it, all this, as Zhou Enlai, the premier of China in 1954, correctly rephrased Clausewitz's dictum that, you know, the war is continuation of the policy by other means. He correctly stated that diplomacy is continuation of the war by other means. United States lost the war, period. And so it's going to be now guided by the circumstances and conditions imposed on it by Iran. Whatever we read through, and again, this is not treaty, this is not an agreement, this is memorandum. Memorandum is really not a binding document, but it's it merely is the, you know, statement, let's put it this way, it's the statement of the reality on the balance of power in the region, simple as that. And so, but we'll wait and see what Israel does in terms of Lebanon, because they still continue to, you know, that's the only thing they know how to. They don't know how to fight real war, they know how to bomb. So, and in this case, what can I say? Difficult to say is, you know, Iran won, period. And we have to basically use it as a reference point. The rest of it is all kinds of those, you know, memorandums or what have you. It's just the statements of the fixing of the reality on the ground, period.